The Bears defensive line room has a lot of promise. Bringing in defensive coordinator Eric Washington from the Buffalo Bills, who is known for developing defensive line, has a lot of guys that he can unlock. Andrew Billings, Gervon Dexter Sr, and Zacch Pickens are the three-man rotation currently in the defensive line room, hoping to shock the NFL and prove many analysts wrong, since they don't think that core group is even a bottom five unit. They actually think they're one of the worst in the league. I am here to tell you that no, they are not, but they can get even better with another free agency move that has been linked to the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears have the salary cap and a connection to a current free agent for a defensive lineman that could not help only boost this room, but be a good one-year rental that would take up a space before we go out in next draft or next free agency to solidify that room and be a strong mentor for the younger guys on the roster. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Before I begin today's show, I want to thank everyone who has been tuning in this offseason, especially the last month. I know it's been very dry, and it's just been all scenarios after training camp, but guys, I hope you're prepared because we are 2 weeks away from the Chicago Bears being back at camp, and I can't wait to share with you the most exciting season upcoming in Bears recent history. Your support does not go unnoticed. I'm going to be doing a big giveaway in the next 2 weeks before camp, so make sure you look out for that. So that connection to free agency and why you guys are here. Linval Joseph, and how do we have a connection to him? Last season, he played for the Buffalo Bills. And guess who just came from the Bills as their defensive line coach? Eric Washington. Joseph is a hell of a veteran that have on your team and would boost this defensive line room more than many realize. And today, I am going to break down how and why I think he would be a great addition as a one-year rental for the Chicago Bears. And before I kick off today's show, hit that like button if you hate the Green Bay Packers and throw an FGB in the comment section below to show your support. And hey, let's hit 16,500 subscribers before camp, and we can do that in 2 weeks. I know you guys can do it. And if we do that, I'll add another giveaway to the giveaway that I'm doing right before camp. And so instead of one, so you have higher chances. So please hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for what I'll be giving away. So let's hit on Linval Joseph, a 35-year-old, well, 35 years young in my personal opinion, defensive lineman who has had a big impact in the NFL since joining back in 2010, where he won a Super Bowl with the New York Giants. The 6'4", 329-pound defensive lineman gives that Akeem Hicks defensive line size that we've been missing. We had that with Armon Watts 2 seasons ago, but we haven't had that big up the middle interior defensive lineman. And yes, Gervon Dexter Sr. is a big guy at 6'6", 310 plus, but this guy is built thick, as you can tell in these pictures. He has played over a variety of teams during his career, winning 1 Super Bowl and being a 2-time Pro Bowler, starting his career with the New York Giants, then the Minnesota Vikings, heading to the LA Chargers, 1 season with the Philadelphia Eagles, and last year with the Buffalo Bills. In his career, he has played in 13 seasons, so he carries a ton of knowledge with his background. Along with that, he was one of the better defensive linemen in the late 2010s. Bears fans know that all too well during his time with the Minnesota Vikings, where he got both his Pro Bowl appearances, and he can still play now. Proved that 2 years ago, and he's been more of a rotation guy since then. But I think he would be here, but I think Eric Washington would definitely use him a lot better. Not only that, again, 2-time Pro Bowler, 1-time Super Bowl champion. Clearly, this guy knows how to win ball games and be a good player. He got big contracts in the back due to his defensive line play, and he's not going to get one here, but I think he could still bring a lot to the Chicago Bears to end his career, hopefully with a Super Bowl ring. He was drafted back in 2010 in the second round at number 46 out of East Carolina. But what makes me think he'd be great for this team, I've already said it a few times, and I'm trying to instill this in you guys, is this is not a long-term answer. This is a one-year rental. But also, he knows Eric Washington's defensive line scheme. It can help the newer guys get used to it and understand it even more. They haven't played in it yet. They played in Matt Eberflus's, and Eric Washington came here in order to help develop defensive linemen and also enhance the defensive blocking and run game. And being a rental, he fills in for next year, whether we end up taking a top defensive lineman in the draft. And we can finally confirm that Gervon Dexter Sr. is that guy. I mean, Gervon Dexter Sr. is going to have a master season, and put it on my gravestone right now. This guy's going to be special, and I believe that Joseph is going to help teach him to get to that next level, big man to big man connection. I don't make the rules, guys, but this guy's background is super impressive to have on any sort of roster, especially a young developing one. So in his 13 seasons in the NFL, he has done a lot of damage to opposing offenses. We know it all a little too well from when he was with the Vikings from 2014 to 2019. Happy he left the division when he did, because this guy was super difficult to block, 6'4", 329 pounds. But in his career, he's played in 186 total games, starting 170 of them, with 676 total tackles, 394 of them being solo. So he's wrapping you up if he's getting his arms around you. 57 tackles for loss, 77 quarterback hits up the middle. Very impressive. 26.5 sacks, 6 pass deflections due to that big frame, 8 forced fumbles, 5 fumble recoveries, and even returned 1 for a touchdown. The ground was shaking wherever he was, because this guy runs like an absolute bull. And for a defensive lineman, he is a tackling machine up the middle, which is what we need. Really good at stopping the run as well due to his size and taking on double teams. Been a captain a couple times due to his value to the team. And he can get after the quarterback, which is a scary threat to have up the middle. His best year was in 2017 with the Minnesota Vikings, where he played in all 16 games, starting all 16 of them, with having 68 total tackles, 40 of them being solo, 5 tackles for loss, 10 quarterback hits, 3.5 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and 1 forced fumble. And that's just his best career year from a stats perspective. I mean, also why he was a Pro Bowler that year. But he also put up numbers all the way up to 2021. And after he left the LA Chargers, he became more of a rotation guy, more of a depth piece to help enhance other defensive linemen, help teach them. Clearly why Eric Washington wanted him to join the Buffalo Bills last year. And with the Philadelphia Eagles, he was pretty impactful on that defense. We all know how good they were. So overall, very talented piece to have on your roster. And also his projected contract for what he can bring, not too much. With us still waiting on Caleb Williams and Roman Duze to get their contract offers from Ryan Poles in the front office, which we will get done, guys. I mean, we have a couple weeks till camp. We just have to keep telling ourselves that it's a set number. It pretty much just becomes language in the contract. And those guys don't seem very worried about it. I think they're just embracing the Chicago scene, getting to know the city, getting to know their teammates, and they're not worried about it all. They got a ton of NIL money. So I know it's tough and annoying, but I promise when that day comes, we'll be covering it here, and it will get done very soon. And it's going to leave us with a little over $7 million in cap once we sign them, which is projected based off their rookie projections. And considering Joseph's age and how much he's played the last few years, with, like I said, more of a rotation player, he won't get anything too crazy. He may just get another couple $1 million, which I say that casually. I would love to just get a couple $1 million for playing in an NFL season. I would get tackled for $1 million by Joseph, to be honest with you. As long as it's $1 million, I don't care if I'm not able to walk for 6 months or so. But I think it would be a good contract, maybe like a 1 year, $3.5 million contract with up to $5 million incentives, due to his knowledge. But he'll be worth it, though. I'm telling you, because a big, mean defensive lineman up the middle that can rotate and be a game wrecker when you need him to, gets guys up to speed in Washington's defensive line scheme, and being a mentor to Zacch Pickens and Gervon Dexter Sr., that's worth it. And, Billings has been impactful on both those two young guys. But having 2 mentors up the middle, big dudes especially, could be really big for this defensive line. I hope the Bears make a move like this, or even this exact move. I mean, he has ties to Eric Washington, which is big, knows the division from his time in Minnesota, and overall, just the knowledge itself is worth weight in gold. So I'm super excited about this guy potentially becoming a Chicago Bear, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. But as I said earlier, hit that like button if you hate the Green Bay Packers. Comment FGB as well, and hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 16,500 before training camp. I can't wait for this season, and I know you guys can't either. But with that, thank you as always for tuning in this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, bear down, baby.